the time are on cardboard on corners in town. Like a cancer that's silently spreading, there's an unspoken fear. We're on our way down. We must take America back. Main Street to Wall Street, cities and states, Washington, D.C., before it's too late.
That's right, America. Today we begin taking America back. Welcome to the new TPC Daily Brief. This is where we will begin connecting and empowering we the people. Join us now as Ken Crow, co-founder of the Tea Party community, and his co-host Tamara Scott bring you the updates from the site, the daily hot topics, great guests, the Constitution, liberty, and American values.
Hello, Tea Party community, and I am Ken Crow. How are you today? We've got a new show, and as first days go, there's always going to be glitches, so please bear with me. We'll get through it, won't we, Tamara?
We sure will.
I want to introduce my co-host to you. She is an incredible pro-life advocate. She's been involved in conservative politics for a number of years in Iowa, and we in Iowa love her. Say hello, Tamara Scott.
Thank you very much, Ken. I appreciate that, and I hope the people in Iowa appreciate what I do. But you know, every time you step out front, you get a little bit of everything from everyone. And I think it was Einstein that said, if you don't ever want any criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. And we are not content doing that, so we have to speak out. So tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, Ken.
Well, I started in this movement known as the Tea Party about 3.5 years ago now. And I was moved because we got hammered pretty bad in the financial crash. And then when the president was elected, that made it worse. So I became angry. And then I saw the destruction of our country and the way our nation is headed. And I couldn't sit back anymore. I couldn't, just like you couldn't, just like all of us in this movement couldn't. And I want to tell all of you out there today, we are tremendously grateful to God and you for being part of the Tea Party community. And together, we are going to take America back. And I think that beautiful song that Steve Voss wrote, by the way, it's on YouTube, you need to pull it up, is an incredible depiction and so wordsmith perfectly for what we're doing on this site today. And we are going to be doing a lot of things on this site, and you're going to be very proud of it. I promise you will be. And Tamara, we've got some guests today. Why don't you tell us who's going to be joining us? And by the way, you do need to call in. If you would like to call into the show, it's going to be at 855-244-0077. That's toll-free, 855-244-0077. It should be up on your screen on the site someplace. And Tamara is going to be interviewing one of our heroes over at the Tea Party community today, and I think we're going to have fun.
And that's Jan Morgan. I've not met Jan Morgan. And when you brought her name up to me, I thought, we'll see what this is. We'll see what Ken's got under that big cowboy hat. And I looked Jan up last night, and if you just go to Facebook and look up her bio, it's quite impressive, quite amazing. On her site, I'm seeing 140,000 friends just on her Facebook, and then you're telling me on her website she has even more. Mm-hmm. And if you look at her activities, I think anybody who would relate to the Tea Party or the conservative movement or the Second Amendment rights folks, you're going to appreciate what she has to say. So you'll want to join us for that segment of the show. But for those of you who are just viewing in, this is brand spanking new today. It is the Daily Brief. Ken Crow and myself, Tamara Scott, are going to do our best to bring you information. Ken, I don't know about you, but I claim to be an expert on nothing. I claim to be a
Likewise,
scholar
I'm sure.
in nothing, but a student in a lot of things. And so we know out there that the folks who are listening and the folks who want to make a difference, I mean, you said just a minute ago why you got involved. A lot of people would like to get involved, but they don't know how.
Ooh, we're going to be teaching them.
We're going to give them information. Our hope is to empower them with truth, to equip them with websites and links and people. And so each day we'll have somebody different on the show that can give them good information. Sometimes it will be the experts like Jan Morgan from around the nation. Sometimes it will be ordinary Iowans right in our own backyard who can give us good information on the topic. So our listeners just need to follow along. Now, you kind of said why you got involved. I got involved because I had kids at home. I was involved outright at high school, actually, and attending the caucuses and such. But when you go through the motherhood thing, you get a little bit busy, and then you realize, for my children, I must still be involved. I must pay attention to what's happening in their community. And there was a school board election coming up, and I didn't know who to vote for. I thought if I ran into one of these people at the grocery store, I wouldn't know who they are. Mm-hmm. So I decided to have a forum so I could get to know them because no one else would. No one else was going to, and no one else would. I found out why. This superintendent was not happy that this mother was interfering with his kingdom.
What a shame.
There was no hot button issue under his definition, and nobody needed to worry about it. No one cared. I wouldn't get a crowd. I went ahead and pursued. The non-teachers union came in with me. Jim Hawkins, which is probably someone we'll have as a guest on this show with the Non-Union Teachers Association in Iowa, came in with me. And the teachers union then demanded, all of a sudden, they didn't want to participate. And all of a sudden now they wanted their name on the flyers. And they wanted to make sure they had a tagline. And their tagline was that they were the only representative for the board. Nobody else mattered. They were the only representative voice for the board. So I went back to the Professional Educators of Iowa folks, and I said, in all fairness, you now can have a statement. What would you like on the flyer? And this is what Jim Hawkins said to me. We put students first. I thought, wow, that says everything. The other one was concerned about being a bargaining voice, and the Professional Educators of Iowa was concerned about putting students and their education first. So that was my first tiptoe in. Out of that, we got bomb threats. We got some very angry people. And that was my welcome in. And someone called me an activist, and I was offended by it because I never meant to be an activist. No. I was just trying to be a citizen who was engaged.
Sure. Well, we're going to be doing that on the website. And I'm going to tell the people real briefly, if you haven't joined your state hub, go to the top left-hand corner of the website. It'll say Join Your State Hub.
Give us the website again.
teapartycommunity.com. And when you join your state hub, this is going to be the first thing that we have to do to begin the process of changing America. And we're going to do this through many, many, many members. And this is the first step. We're going to join. We need you to join your state hub if you haven't joined yet. Each state hub will have, when I say state hub, I mean Texas. If you live in Texas, join your Texas state hub. Michigan, same thing. Iowa, same thing. And we're going to have a director for each of those state hubs that is going to be the principal organizer for that state. And we'll get into more later on what all we're doing. But the first thing we're going to need you to do, Tea Party community, is join that state hub, get signed up in there, get to know your fellow patriots from your area where you live, because they're already chatting and they're already members. That's step number one. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to introduce you to some great, great people coming down the pike, and they're going to be teaching you how to grassroots organize, of which Tamara is an expert in that area too. So we're very glad to have her. And I believe we're going to have somebody coming up here in a minute on the telephone, should be. And Tamara, what do you know about our phone caller?
Well, I think I've got them. I'm looking at Dan. Can I go ahead and I'll do my best to bring him on without losing him?
Ah.
All right. And caller, are you there?
Hello, caller.
And this is a daily brief. Do we have a caller on the line?
Yeah, this is Jan Morgan. I'm here.
Oh, very good. Jan Morgan, this is Tamara Scott. Did we talk on a Saturday evening on the phone? Is that who, Ken, you put us together one Saturday night on the phone?
No, I don't believe not.
Are you sure?
I believe it was might have been. I don't. Look, you're talking to an old gray-haired cowboy with a bad memory.
I could be wrong. But, Jan, I did not know who you were, and I apologize. I can't believe I missed who you were. So I did some back some checking, and I just brought up your Facebook page, and my goodness, 140,000 friends on one of your Facebook sites, and then I'm told on your website even more.
Well, actually, I have 3 or 4 Facebook pages now, and the reason I have all those Facebook pages is because of the conservative bias that has been that so many conservatives have felt on that social media site. You know, they've deleted my page once. They've deleted my post. They block me from my own page time after I make posts that are particularly unnerving to liberals, as well as people who are followers of Islam. So I've had an ongoing battle with Facebook, and every time they cut me off, I would just create a new page. So between my 4 pages, I have about 350,000 followers, and probably about 100,000 on my subscribers to my website, janmorganmedia.com. So I've generated a nice group of folks. I don't know how many of those are duplicates, but they're all still there on all those pages. So we're beginning to get really excited about the Tea Party community, and I'm sharing with them the fact that this social media site exists because so many of them have had the same kinds of problems that I have had on Facebook. So we're really looking forward to this special place that we can congregate, that we can share our thoughts, we can network, we can strategize, and we can organize in our state hubs and actually get active. You know, on Facebook, it was really hard for us to organize because we're all scattered all over the country. But the way the Tea Party community has divided us into state hubs, it really makes it so easy to get in your state hub and find out what's going on in your state and who the people are and get connected so that you can actually show up and help each other out, you know, on state issues. So that's the cool part about Tea Party community, and more people are coming over. And as the website, as the social media site TPC becomes more widely known, I think it's just going to explode with people who are excited about a place where there's no censorship, where free speech is part of the deal, and there's no friend limits, so we aren't cut off from each other. There's just so many things I'm looking forward to on this site that I'm already enjoying.
Very good. And so for our listeners and viewers who are tuning in, Jan Morgan, I would highly recommend you go to Facebook page and just check out some of the activities that she has going. I need to check, Dan, do we need to go to break? Or are we okay? We can go to break? Let's go to a break. Jan, you can stay through the break with us, correct?
Okay, sure. You bet.
Okay. This is you.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershide.
I am administrative manager
I am the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're going to do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's going to be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're going to do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed right or it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee. I
mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you going to say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're going to be listening. They're going to want to know what your challenges are. Then they're going to come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave. and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though, I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed right or it's free or 100% money back.
enough said.
The American dream.
Welcome back to the TPC Daily Brief with your host, Ken Crow.
Hi there, we are back, and this is the TPC Daily Brief. This is our inaugural show. Bear with us. We do have a few jitters, and we are getting seated in the saddle, as we say out west. And it takes a bit to do that sometimes with a young horse. So anyway, tomorrow we have the great Jan Morgan on the line, and I read her website this morning, and if I'm not mistaken, this lady's giving away a pretty cool gift on there. What do you know about that?
Jan, why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners what's going on? What are you doing on your website right now?
Actually, we are giving away a free AR-15, and we decided to do that just about the time of the Sandy Hook massacre because the national news media came out, and I was so disgusted with the assault of the national news media against our right to bear arms that we just felt like we would do a free gun giveaway, and not only would it be a gun, we would actually pick a rifle that everyone was particularly interested in bashing, and that was the AR-15. And I wrote an article called My AR-15 is Not an Assault Rifle, which ended up on the Daily Caller. It did really well on the Daily Caller, as well as my website. And basically, it was my way to lash back at the national news media, to let them know that my AR-15 is not an assault weapon. It is not a weapon of mass destruction, as they said many, many times. And it's actually, there are hunting rifles out there that are much more deadly than that AR. It's ridiculous. And the liberal view of assault weapons and their assault weapon ban is basically if it looks scary. And yes, the AR-15 looks particularly scary if you have it tricked out like I do mine. But it is our right to own firearms, and gun owners across America, we are sick and tired of the federal government attempting to take this right away from us. And we're in a battle. We're in the battle of our lives right now, it seems. More than any time in our nation's history, the Second Amendment is under assault. I've been doing speeches all over the country. I spoke last week in Albany, New York, at a rally there. There were about 3,000 people there. Spoke with Ken in Montgomery, Alabama, on the state capitol steps there at a rally as well, Second Amendment based, and did something in Florida recently, going back into Florida to Orlando in April to do a Second Amendment speech there. So, people around the country are fighting, but we are in a serious battle, and I think that the Sandy Hook massacre was the one incident that our federal government needed to exploit to jump on this attack. So we're fighting, and we're fighting back tooth and nail. And my website, our way of giving back and doing something is to just stick it right back in their faces and say, here's an AR-15, and we're going to give one away. Subscribe to Morgan Media, and somebody's going to win it.
Jan, I've got to throw this in because I know you're a native Texan, such as myself. And the one thing, and this goes all the way back to Davy Crockett and Jim Bowie at the Alamo, we love our guns in Texas. And that's the reason for the accent, in case all you folks out there are wondering why I talk this way. It's a Texas genetic thing. Anyway, I watched Fox News this morning and was stunned. Have you caught up, or are you aware of what's happening today in Texas regarding a piece of legislation going before the legislature down there either today or tomorrow? And Governor Perry has already said, bring it to me, and I'll sign it. But basically it's banning the federal government from having any influence over gun laws in Texas. What do you know about that?
Ken, what I know is Texas is just joining a band of states that are getting on that particular bandwagon. We've already seen it happen in Montana. When you and I were in Montgomery, Alabama, that is the very piece of legislation that they were putting before the legislature there. They basically took Montana's law, copy-pasted it, and said, here, Alabama lawmakers, we want this in our state. And in Texas, I'm surprised actually that we don't already have this in legislation because, as you know, in Texas, we don't pay much attention to the federal government anyway. We do things our own way. We always have. We never have actually put it in writing. But, for example, on the voting laws, we were going to require, in Texas, we were going to require voters to present photo ID in this last presidential election. Eric Holder's Justice Department stepped forward and blocked that effort, saying you can't require photo ID because it intimidates minorities. Well, you know what we did in Texas about that?
What?
We did it anyway.
Gotta love Texas.
That's right.
You go, Texas.
We didn't say, no, Eric Holder, we're not going to pay attention to what you say. We just kindly ignored him and did what we wanted to do anyway. And people were still asked for their photo ID in most of the polls that I'm aware of in Texas. So we didn't make a big deal out of it. We just kind of laughed and said, hey, states' rights. The way this Constitution was set up, states are supposed to have state sovereignty. And what we're seeing, Ken and Tamara, around the country, I believe, is this effort of the states standing up to the federal bully. You look at Jan Brewer in Arizona. I mean, that is one tough lady. Our governors in our states are saying, you know what? We're tired of being shoved around by the federal government. So we're going to step up to the plate, and we're going to start representing the people of our state to the federal government rather than the federal government using us to represent them to our people. So states' rights is once again at the forefront, and I think that the Second Amendment battle has really brought this all to the top of the burner, so to speak. I think it's really made it all come to fruition. I think states were thinking about this anyway with the Obamacare and the other federal bullying that's going on, and now I think the Second Amendment deal has just pushed them over the edge.
Well, and that's exactly what we're going to fight, Jan. I want to remind everybody this is the brand new show today, the TPC Daily Brief. You're going to get headlines. You're going to get great guests like Jan Morgan, and we even have a passionate pachyderm that's supposed to be here in a little while. But if anybody would like to call in and talk to Jan, ask her a couple of questions, if Jan can hang around for a couple of minutes, we'd love to have you give us a call. I believe the number's on your screen. Do give us a call and ask Jan anything pertaining to guns or freedom, liberty, the Constitution, Sharia law, whatever. She's an expert in all of it. And no pressure, Jan. You can handle it.
And that phone number, just so our folks have it, is 855-244-0077. 855-244-0077. Jan, coming back to this AR-15, and I don't know if you saw the clip of Biden talking about how women should just go out and get a shotgun. And one of the articles I read responds to that, say that many women find the AR-15 a better instrument for them, a more comfortable shot with less recoil.
Well, that's a given. Anybody who knows anything about shotguns knows, especially a 12-gauge shotgun, which I have a Mossberg 590 12-gauge, and yes, there's a lot of recoil unless you switch out the buttstock and put a collapsible buttstock on it. That helps some for women. And in my firearms classes that I teach women around the country, one of the things I tell them is if you're going to get a 12-gauge, you need to change out the buttstock, put a collapsible buttstock on it, you can handle it a lot better. But, Joe Biden, that was just ridiculous. His comments were so, I hate to even validate his little rant by giving it further discussion. But one of the things I wanted to mention real quickly before we get off the issue of liberties, we were talking about states' rights, and something that I'm seeing too, we're watching happen around the country regarding states' rights. The states are stepping up to the plate and hopefully going to take a more active role in representing their citizens in this issue between the Criminal Investigation Division of the Internal Revenue Service, the Justice Department versus the citizens. If you haven't seen my documentary, Rampant Injustice, go to YouTube, type it up. It's got over 300,000 YouTube hits right now.
Incredible
and give us
video.
the name of it again, Rapid Justice. Is that what you called it?
Rampant
Injustice.
rampant injustice. What we're trying to do, what we did, we only showcased. Everybody knows about the case of Gibson Guitar and what happened to them. That was national news. But Tamara and Ken, what people aren't hearing about is the fact that what happened to Gibson is happening to businesses all over this country, small businesses who they aren't big enough to get the national media spotlight, but they're big enough to be bullied by the federal government and lose hundreds of thousands of dollars without justification. I was just talking to a doctor in Florida this morning. She is another victim of the Justice Department and the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS. They came in, took $475,000 out of her business account, basically shut down her business. Months and months passed. She finally, her case went to court. She was vindicated, cleared of everything, but still does not have her money back, still does not have all of her records back. And you see, that cases like that where they're destroying small businesses around this country, that small businesses are the foundation of the economy of this country. And we're not hearing about all those stories. So we're trying to tell those, and we're trying to get congressmen in these states to step up to the plate and do something about this abusive strong arm of the federal government that is bullying citizens.
Wow.
Jan,
violating their constitutional rights.
We've got a couple of callers on. Can you take a phone call?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. Caller number 1, you're on the phone with Tea Party Community Daily Brief, and Jan Morgan is the guest.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey there, Ken. How are you?
Who is this?
Good. This is Amos Elvis in North Carolina. I believe Jan may know me.
Oh, hey, Amos. Yes.
Good
Thank you for joining us.
Well, welcome, Amos. What do you got for Jan today, real quickly?
Well, I don't have a southern drawl quite as deep as you've got, but anyway, I did want to say that we here in North Carolina have got a group called Grassroots North Carolina. We're beating the bush as hard as we can, calling all these people, tell them in Washington and here in North Carolina that we've had enough of this stuff about taking our rights away from us, especially our Second Amendment. But Jan, I was wondering when you were going to come back down to North Carolina.
You know, Amos, actually, that USA Tactical has an AR-15 for me, so you know I'm coming back to North Carolina. So, yes, I will be. You guys need to organize another. I spoke for people who aren't familiar with. I did a speech. It's also on YouTube. It's called Jomeokee, Jan Morgan on Jomeokee National Park. I did a speech at a Tea Party Coalition rally there. There were about 25 Tea Parties, I believe, that came together for that rally, and the greatest bunch of folks in America were there. I just love the people there, and as Amos said, they are activists. They're fighting, and that's Amos. You need to make sure that you get all your folks over here to Tea Party Community. Let them know on your Facebook pages and in your email list that we're here, that this hub exists, and they can connect with other Tea Party groups around the country, as well as connect with other folks in their own state by joining their state hub.
I just want to interject something real quick, Amos, and then we're going to go to the next caller. But we are going to be organizing heavily, and we will make you and the other members aware of exactly what we're doing very shortly. But I believe you're going to like it. We're going to need your help. We're going to need you to get involved. We're going to need you to participate. But it is the only way we're going to get change, and we are going to get change, and you're going to love what we're doing.
Jan Morgan, tell us again how our listeners and our viewers can go to your website and sign up to win that AR-15, and then we're going to take a break. So tell our viewers and our listeners how they can get a chance at that wonderful rifle that you're offering.
Okay, you bet. But real quickly, if Amos is still on the line, if not, hopefully he's still listening. Amos, shoot me an email with your email address, and I'll get you that little pin so you'll have it for your next rally. I have a pin that I have made up that says, my AR-15 is not an assault rifle, ... unless ... you try to take it from me. Amos saw me wearing that at a rally. He wanted one. I have a bunch of them, so I'm going to send him one. So, Amos, just send me your email address. People can get in contact with me by getting on janmorganmedia.com. janmorganmedia.com. You will see on that page, it's all over the page, free AR-15, February 28th. Midnight is the last time that you can sign up. After that, I think on the 29th, we're doing the drawing, and I'm hoping they're going to let me hand deliver the AR to whoever wins. So be sure to get in there and sign. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to the site. All that does is you click on there, you give them your email address, and they will, which is highly secure on our site. I own all of those, and what we do is we'll send you a daily newsletter letting you know what's going on Jan Morgan Media. And in the meantime, your name is in the hat to win that free AR.
Jan Morgan, it's been my honor, my pleasure just to get to know who you are and to get to talk to you today on Tea Party Community dailybrief.com. But listeners and viewers, I hope you will sign up to win that. And I hope it's somebody from Iowa, because I would love to bring Jan Morgan to this state.
Absolutely.
Loves to come. You guys need to bring me in anyway. I'd like to be on your show live, actually in the studio. That would be nice.
Anytime.
Excellent.
Doors open anytime, Jan. You
Very
get
good.
through.
Okay.
Let us know.
Well, we are. This
Thank
is
you.
Tea Party Community dailybrief.com, and we've got to go to a break to make sure that those who make this possible get a chance to also be heard by you and seen by you. So we'll be right back after this.
Thanks so much, you guys.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
The dawn of a new era begins.
Well, hi, I'm Rob Spearman. I'm a broker-owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Concepts in Des Moines, Iowa. Give us a call if you're looking at buying or selling a home, or if you're having trouble on your mortgage payments or looking to purchase foreclosures. We have the agents to help you, experienced, outstanding agents. Our office number is 515-276-2872. Or if you'd like to look at homes, go to our website, homeconnectusa.com.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Welcome back to the TPC Daily Brief, hosted by Ken Crow and Tamara Scott. Here's Ken.
Well, hello, America, and hello, Tea Party community. We're going to have a special guest here in a little bit. I did a little research on these guys. Now, you all know who these people are. You have seen them all over the website. Every time you turn around, we hear about an elephant, a very passionate elephant. I believe they're called passionate pachyderms. And could you let us know when they're on the line? Oh, they're on the line. All right. Let's welcome a passionate pachyderm in. Hello, pachyderm.
Hello.
I believe it's Jen from the Passionate Pachyderms.
Yes, sir, it is.
What do you think about all this, Jen? Tell me, how are we doing today for our rookie outing on television?
You're doing pretty good. They had difficulty hearing the last caller, but other than that, I think you're doing a fantastic job.
You couldn't hear Amos from North Carolina. He's one of our passionate patriots. I don't know if he's a pachyderm or not, but yeah. Anyway, tell us about you, Jen. Tell us about what you do, because I know you have been very, very active in not only the website, but going back quite a while, because you have some huge websites with huge followers, large numbers.
We do. We, like so many people, many years, it seems like a lifetime ago now, back in 2007, my husband and I, one summer day, we were saying, gee, we didn't know who we were going to vote for in the upcoming national election. We didn't feel like a real good choice for us. And we kind of bantered things back and forth, and we were both just so frustrated and tired of yelling at the TV. So we decided, instead of spending our time doing that, we need to get involved. And so we started getting involved, and in for a pound, in for a penny.
Amen.
We started, and within a month, we were head and shoulders into our local community campaigns in our county and in our state. That led to state campaigns, and we're out of Wisconsin. So as you all know, the kind of things we've been dealing with here in Wisconsin with our wonderful, awesome governor, Scott Walker, and the kinds of things we were up against with that, and Act 10, and the union busting people that came in, it just literally has not stopped for 6 years. And we have been in the thick of that, which led to national politics, and it's been like I said, a whirlwind thing. It seems like a whole lifetime we've been at this.
Well, amen. Have you had a chance to visit with Tamara Scott, my beautiful co-host, who is up on everything you're discussing? And by the way, anybody want to call in and visit with the passionate pachyderm known as Jen, feel free, 855-244-0077. And we'd love to have you. Tamara, what do you think about it? Sounds to me like she's in for the same reasons we were in, and we're all fighting this battle together. We're all in the same arc.
Yeah, Jen, it's nice to talk to you. And so you're coming from the state of Wisconsin, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you firsthand got to see what happened, and let's just go through this for our listeners, because I think this story is absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And this last election, 2012, conservatives were a little disgruntled and a little dismayed the morning after. But if we look at things, we still have 30 Republican governors, 33 governors who call themselves pro-life. I think it's 27 states where the legislature is in control or in conservative, at least Republican control. And I don't have some of my other figures, but even with the outcome as it was, maybe at the top of the ticket, conservative ideals still did well. In those states where Romney even lost, or where marriage lost, Romney outpolled marriage by 10 points in Maryland. So it wasn't a backlash against our Constitution, against our ideals, against conservative or social principles. And so I want to come back because Scott Walker gave us momentum going into the election. Scott Walker, the recall, the whole issue there, I think was it about June when we had the whole push for the recall vote?
Correct. The recall was in June. However, we found out shortly after the election in 2010. In fact, it was even within hours of Scott Walker winning the election. The other side had websites to recall him before he had done anything, before he had said anything, before he was inaugurated, nothing. They had websites in place, up, ready to completely launch an attack against him.
And so I think that's a great point for our listeners, too. And I apologize if I talk over you. I'm not hearing you incredibly with great volume, so forgive me, Jen, if I talk over you. But right there, what you just said is a lesson for everyone out there. We have governors who could do so much more, elected officials who could do so much more, but they're timid because it might raise rancor on the other side. They're going to do whatever they wish to do anyway. You might as well make your time in office last. And I'm tired of hearing folks say, it's better that I win re-election than not have someone like me, a conservative or a Republican in office at all. So they play it light. But Scott Walker showed us 2 days in office. He was a rookie governor. 2 days in office, he took on the unions of all things. The courage that he exhibited and then stood strong, never backed down. And because of that, it gave Americans the conviction to get behind him as well. That's part of the problem I think the Republican Party sees. And I have to be careful. I am the Republican National Committee woman for Iowa, so I am not anti-Republican. But I'd like to see us do better. Just like when you're raising your kids, you want to see them do well, so you correct them when you need to and you toe the line when you have to. We lose ground because it's not just that we don't stay on message, it's that we don't stand our ground. And so, Jan, you saw it firsthand. Were you at the State House when all of the riots and all of the loud protests were taking place?
Absolutely. We were right there with our friends Andrew Breitbart, Sarah Palin, all of, just huge number of wonderful people, and all of us standing there in the midst of 70,000 union thugs. And that's exactly what they were. They behaved like thugs. It was like nothing I've ever seen. We are lucky enough and blessed enough to have several friends inside the Capitol who are legislators, and thank goodness we were given refuge in their offices a couple times. But the kinds of things that those poor people had to put up with for weeks and months when the left was there banging their drums and screaming at the top of their lungs, urinating and defecating in our beautiful state capitol. The kinds of things that happened were just beyond belief.
I've got a question for you and Tamara. I've got a question for both of you, actually. The exhibit that these people that are supposed to be the compassionate people, these are the people that are supposed to care about everybody and care about rights and care about freedoms, and none of that happened up there. You elected a Republican governor in a union-controlled state, and these people had already preordained what they were going to do. There was no accepting of the people's choice for governor. Have I got this right, Tamara? I mean, is this what? And Jen, I don't see where these people are being anything remotely close to following the Constitution, following the rule of law, following due process, the democracy that we have in our election process. None of that happened. It was all thrown out the window, and it was, you won, now we're going to take it away, and we want back what we have. Have I pretty much got it right?
Well, and Jen can probably answer this better than I, but it wasn't just that you won, we're going to take it back. We're going to do everything we can destroy you, and if it's destroying this capital physically, if it's destroying this state with our freedoms and our liberties, everything that those people in that state had worked to enjoy, they didn't care if they lost because they were not going to let this governor stand. But here's the deal. Because they had a governor who did stand on his conviction and would stay strong, the people got behind him all over this nation. People came to Wisconsin to help in July, and I believe it was in June. So, Jen, what's your perspective on that?
Absolutely. We had people from all over the country here, people like groups like Passionate Pachyderms and all the other patriot groups throughout the state housed our friends that came from other states that came to help out, canvassed neighborhoods, had events, organized all of this stuff together, and we won, of course, the recall very handedly. I mean,
he won the recall with greater numbers than his first election. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
So I just can't stress enough. I wish that our other elected officials around the country would pay attention. In this state, we have a governor who's in his 5th term. He took a break, didn't run for a couple of terms, and now then when he decided to run was handily elected once again, has great approval of the people, and has wonderful experience, as you can imagine, 5 terms in office. If this governor decided to take on the unions with the same fervor that Scott Walker did, can you imagine what we could do? Right now we have an education bill before the state legislature, and honestly, there's so much more. There's so much better we could do for the state than fussing about what the Senate president might allow. Or the majority leader might allow. I wish others had the courage that your governor, Scott Walker, and I just got off the phone. My last phone call before the show was someone out of his office. So I have great respect for Governor Walker and his ability to stand on truth and not back down, and he was rewarded for it.
And he is absolutely an amazing, amazing person. His wife is amazing. Their children are remarkable. I can't imagine a better leader for the state of Wisconsin.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us. And so you are with the Passionate Pachyderms. Now, is there a website?
Correct. We are Passionate Pachyderms, and how we support our efforts is with our business that we have. It's Pithy Pins.
Pithy, as in Pithy?
Correct.
Is that pins, as in ballpoint pins, or a needle?
Pins, as in campaign pins.
Okay, pins, P-I-N-S.
Yep.
Pithy Pins.
Pithy Pins. So it's pithypins.com.
Cool.
Very clever.
Very clever.
They're all conservative. They're all Tea Party related, conservative, right-minded. Slogan, saying, artwork. I'm the artistic director, so the designs are made by me, and we keep it all in the family. And our daughters help manufacture them. My husband and our daughters are the manufacturers, and that money goes to support all of our efforts that we then donate to organizations like TPC.
Very good.
So, Jen, how many followers do you have on your website?
Oh, we've got several different websites because just like Jan Morgan, our pages have been taken down and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we kind of got smart and did the Passionate Pachyderms on Facebook as just a personal account, which we've kept with all of the biggest leaders throughout all the different states of the Tea Party organizations. So then when we put things out, they pass it to their people who pass it to their people. And at last count, we had over 2 million.
Wow.
2 million.
Well,
excellent.
Jen, I'm going to have to cut you loose here. We've got business to take care of, but will you come back someday?
Absolutely. And
perfect.
I hope everybody visits us at pithypins.com, too.
Absolutely perfect. Well, we will, and thank you for your patriotism. Thank you for being part of the website, and I know I do enjoy reading your material. And you have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
We've probably got to go to break.
I believe we probably do.
So we're going to go to those sponsors who are making this possible. We can hear from them. And we also want to thank the WebcastOneLive.com studios for working with us on this new process that we're just learning. So thank you to them. But now a word from our sponsors.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
It's like they want to get hit.
Need a body shop?
Minor wreck
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Update on some of the things that we've been talking about, some of the sponsors that we have, and following us on this website are other great shows. So don't tune off or click off the online of what's coming up after us, because there are more people coming along as well. But Ken, you had some things you wanted to take before the viewers.
Yes, ma'am. I want to visit with all of you for just a minute and tell you really and truly why we're here. We are here because America is being disassembled, and you know it, I know it, we know it, and even the enemy knows it because he's the one perpetuating it. We're here because we're going to unify. I don't care if you're a Tea Party Patriot, a Tea Party Express, a Tea Party Orlando, Albuquerque, or Tulsa. It's irrelevant. It's time we come together as a group, and this is the only way we're going to prevail. Mr. Tim Saletti, the founder and my protege in this little venture, decided a long time ago that this is what we had to do, America. You saw how we weren't as galvanized in 12 as we were in 10, and you saw what happened because of it. Well, now's our opportunity. We have the spot. So here's the deal. Over the course of the next days, weeks, and months to come, we're going to be learning about grassroots. We're going to be learning about the site. We're going to be learning about the bloggers. We're going to be talking to various individuals. And we need you all to go back to join your state hub and click on, and we're going to get this thing rolling, and it's going to be fabulous. Now, one of the things that Tea Party Community has done is we are partnering, and we have some absolutely phenomenal people that we're working with to retake our freedom in this country. And one of them is Mr. Tom Trento. Tom's show comes on direct. He'll be on every day right after this one. You can watch him at Tea Party Community, and he is an incredible patriot. You need to watch this man, and you need to learn. We cannot win this battle if we are not armed, if we don't have the knowledge that we need to take the fight to the enemy. We're going to lose. So Tom's job is going to be teaching you about Sharia law and about the Constitution and things like that. And he's a lot of fun. He's very entertaining. He's very educational. And Tom is probably one of the greatest patriots I've ever had the honor of knowing. I got to be in his studio a couple of weeks ago in Florida. Absolutely phenomenal individual. So right after this show ends in a moment, I want you to kick it off and watch the Tom Trento Show.